There will be a new moon in the sign of Leo on August 16th. And with this new moon comes a transformational magic that's going to change many lives. Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm an astrologer, and welcome to Rise Higher Astrology. So if you're deeply connected to the astrology world, you know that the big story of 2023 is all about Venus. Venus represents the divine feminine. And this year she plays a huge role in many astrological events. And I know that most of you can sense the change that's happening in the undercurrent right now. The majority of the subscribers to this channel are divine feminine, and many of you are in the process of having a spiritual awakening, and special gifts are being revealed to you, your life's purpose and mission on this planet as well. Many, if not all, of the 2023 transits are having a profound effect on you as this year unravels. So for the last 18 months or so, Venus was the ruler of the North Node, which had been in Taurus. And this was about learning how to cultivate stability and abundance. And it was also about finding your true worth. It's about valuing yourself. Mars, the divine masculine, was the ruler of the South Node in Scorpio. Now the tables have turned. Mars is leading the new North Node in Aries, while Venus takes command of the South Node in Libra. And this South Node is about learning how to do relationships differently. Yes, it's about breaking free from codependent bonds with other people, but this is also about the relationship that you have with yourself. With Venus ruling the South Node in Libra, ask yourself, do I love myself enough to let go of what's holding me back? Do I love myself enough to let go of my fears so that I can grow in all the right and healthy ways that my soul craves? Venus rules Libra and Taurus, and that's love and money if you simplify it. South Node in Libra and North Node in Aries is learning to take steps forward with love for the betterment of yourself. I know that there's a lot of you out there who want to start your own YouTube channel, but you lack the confidence. Many of you want to have a career change, let your hair down, become healers, shamans, but you're too afraid of what others are going to think about you. And I'm here to tell you, the world needs you. Venus retrograde in Leo means look inward, look inside of yourself to find the strength to fulfill your destiny. Your soul is demanding it. So currently Venus is invisible after leaving the night sky as the evening star. And she's very close to the sun right now. She's in her inferior conjunction. This is when the planet is situated between the sun and the earth. And she's in her cocoon stage. She's undergoing a major transformation before she reemerges as the brand new morning star on August 20th. On August 13th, 3 days before the new moon in Leo, the Sun and Venus conjuncted in a Cazimi, which created the Venus Star Point in Leo. Venus goes through an 8-year cycle where it will return to the exact same place in the sky, and the pattern that it makes creates a pentagram or 5-petaled rose shape called the Venus rose. So this particular rose pattern began on June of 2020. Think about where we were in June of 2020. It seems like so long ago, but yet it seems like yesterday. And we're about halfway through the pattern formation, and it's going to be wrapping up and completing the pattern when the last star point is created in the sign of Gemini approximately 4 years from now. So during this Cazimi, the Sun and Venus were also conjunct Black Moon Lilith. And for those of you who don't know the backstory about Lilith, In Jewish mythology, Adam occupied the Garden of Eden, and he first did it with Lilith, his first wife. But Lilith wanted to be an equal with Adam, and this didn't go over well, and so she was cast out of the Garden of Eden. So this conjunction with the black moon brings a rebellious tone to it, and it's like an attitude that just doesn't want to settle for anything less than what makes you feel fulfilled in your life. Now, Venus rules Taurus and Libra, and of course she's in Leo right now, so there will be 3 houses in your birth chart that will be affected by these transits in the week of August 13th. And in a moment, I'm going to go over each rising sign and where you're going to feel this turbulence the most. But first, I want to share with you how I'm using the energy of this amazing new moon to set new intentions and goals, and you might want to do the same. Immediately after the new moon becomes conjunct with the sun, all the way up until 24 to 48 hours after the new moon lunation, write down goals that you want to accomplish in the next 4 years. At the end of 4 years, it will be the completion of the current rose of Venus cycle. The other list that you can do, that you can make, is a list of goals that you want to manifest in the next 8 years. And this is when the next Leo star point will be formed in the next cycle. So you can also, if you want to, you can make some lunar waters. I love doing this. You can do it with some spring water and Bach flower essences. And what I do is I fill up a crystal bowl or a copper bowl. You can do it with copper. I fill it with spring water and I cover it with plastic wrap and I set it outside under the moon, and it's either new moon or full moon. The next morning, I put some of the water in a brown dropper bottle and put a few drops of Bach flower essence into it. Now, Bach flower essence is a form of vibrational medicine, and it is safe to use. So just put a few drops on your tongue whenever you need to get a boost of energy. So let's go ahead and talk about the rising signs and where you're going to feel this new moon and this Venus energy the most. And another thing to keep in mind is that we have Uranus making a square to Leo right now. So be prepared for a possible surprise happening in your Leo house. So let's go ahead and start with Leo rising. For Leo rising, this new moon is in your first house. So this is your identity. This is your physical body. It's the self. The other houses affected by Venus retrograde are your 3rd house, which is your house of communication, and your 10th house, which is the house of career and public image. For Virgo rising, now you have a lot going on this month, Virgo. You have so many planets in your first house right now. With Mars and Mercury in there, please make sure that you take some rest. Okay, take a few minutes to get some rest. This new moon is going to take place in your 12th house of spirituality, with Venus retro energy spilling over into your 2nd house of income and your 9th house of travel and adventure, higher education. For Libra rising, the 11th house of friendship, social circles, and also the house of financial gains will be seeing this new moon take shape. Your 1st house and 8th houses, your 1st house of self and the 8th house of everything behind closed doors, will be affected by Venus retrograde. And this sounds like a major transformation shakeup. For Scorpio rising, the new moon is going to take place in your 10th house of career and public image. Now, Scorpio rising, you have Uranus traveling through your 7th house right now. So it's making a square. It's in your 7th house, which is going to be affected by this Venus retrograde energy along with your 12th house. Okay, so you also have a lot on your plate right now. You might want to think about taking a little mini staycation. Okay, Sagittarius, you're going to be seeing some new moon energy in your ninth house. Ninth house of long distance travel, of higher education, and philosophy. The Venus retrograde energy is going to be happening in your 11th house of friendship and social circles and financial gains, as well as your 6th house of routines, health and wellness, pets. For Capricorn rising, the new moon is happening in your 8th house. And 8th house, for me personally, it does represent things behind closed doors, death, sex, contracts, mortgages, investments, but this is also a transformational house. And this is where I see it happening for you, Capricorn rising. Major transformation happening this year, for sure. The other houses that will be affected by the Venus retrograde energies is going to be your 5th house of self-expression, creativity, children, and your 10th house of public image and your career. Okay. Now, Aquarius rising, you're going to see the new moon take place in your 7th house. And this is marriage, contracts, and relationships. The other houses that will be affected by Venus retrograde this month is going to be your 4th house. So this is home, family, roots, and also the 9th house, which is higher education, long distance travel. So you also have a lot going on in your angular houses, Aquarius rising. Next up, we have Pisces rising. Pisces, you're going to see the new moon happening in your 6th house of routines, wellness, health, pets, with Venus retrograde energy happening in your 3rd house of communication, siblings, automobiles. This is also learning and teaching. And your 8th house of transformation and everything behind closed doors. Aries rising, you're going to see the new moon happening in your 5th house, which is all about self-expression. Other energy in your birth chart will be happening in your 2nd house of income, in the 7th house of marriage, contracts, and relationships. Next up, we have Taurus. In Taurus, your ruler is Venus. So yes, you are going to really feel these transits. You probably have already felt a lot of shakeups happening. And this new moon, this new beginning, is going to take place in your 4th house of home, family, okay? With Venus retrograde energy happening in the 1st house of self, your 6th house of routines, health and wellness, pets. Now we've got Gemini. Gemini, this new moon is going to take place in your 3rd house. 3rd house is the house that's normally associated with Gemini. It's about communication, teaching, learning, siblings. So look for new beginnings in this area. And the other 2 houses that will be affected by Venus retrograde will be your 5th house of self-expression and your 12th house of spirituality. So there could be a spiritual awakening happening for you if it hasn't already happened. And last but not least, we have Cancer. Cancer rising. Your new moon is happening in the second house of income, with the Venus retrograde energy in your fourth house of home and family, in your ninth house of higher education, long distance travel. Okay, so yes, there is a lot going on. Like I said, we have this squaring of Uranus to Leo. So be on the lookout for some very unexpected surprises. Those could be happening to you this week, as well as for the collective. And this is what I have for you right now. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Bye.